it's so important that I guard my time. And it may be wrong for me to say, but on weekends, a lot of the time when I've got an event with my kid and I'm doing something with my kids, like hiking in the park or something, and a coach of mine wants me to do something on the weekend where it's specifically, like I said, no, this is my time for my kids, I really got to go do this. I kind of think that's selfish. I need to have that time with my family, and I'm not going to give that up. So I do protect those times where I've decided this is family time, and I don't care if the coach is begging on their knees. I'm sorry. This is that important to me. I stood on the stage in Summit 2009, and I professed my why. My why at that time was that my husband had the choice if he wanted to work. That if he wanted to just be at home with the kids, I wanted him to have that choice. I had no intention on quitting my full-time job. I worked for Shirley Johnson's company, Powder Blue Productions, managing the presenters that are on staff and all the events that happen. So I was a full-time employee. Love that job. Love it to pieces. I did not want to get out of that job at all. I said, I don't care how much money I make. I always going to want to do that. Really do. And I stood on the stage saying that that was my goal. I'm always going to work, but I just want to give my husband that choice so he doesn't have to. That's what I wanted to do. And I had to make the decision, a hard decision, to give up my position with Powder Blue Productions. I love it to pieces, but when you look at the impact of how many people we can impact in this business, the amount of coaches that I can talk to, I was spreading myself too thin. I had to be smart. I had to take that off my plate. As much as I loved it to pieces, I had to be smart. This is a business that can impact more people's lives, and I had to make that decision to do that. And in February of this year, I resigned as the National Promotions Director. And my husband resigned from his dream job. His dream job was being a CIO. He was a CIO. He had a cushy job. He had to work in Buffalo, so that was the unfortunate part. He had to drive, and not because of Buffalo, but because we live in Rochester, and so he'd have to drive an hour. But he would only have to drive in 3 days a week, and 2 days a week he worked from home, which was primarily, on off, just kind of being on the computer, washing dishes, taking care of the kids. He kind of had a cushy job. But in April, he formally resigned because we said, what are we doing? Why are we still doing that? What is our main goal? What is our main purpose? To be together more as a family. And if we can take his time that he's, driving a couple hours to Buffalo every day, and he'd be home, where we can now be home for our kids when they come home for school, that's an expectation. If you were in the time management event that Doug Fitzgerald and I did, it's an expectation. Your kids know you're going to be there. Do you know how good that makes them feel? They love it. My poor son said to my husband, because he's with Grandpa right now, he goes, Dad, I want to come home. He's 5. He goes, Dad, I want to come home. And it's like, as much as that crushes you, it's like, that's such a good feeling knowing that he can say that, because we're providing that feeling of he knows we're there. And that's what I love. I love when my son just out of the blue just says, Mom, I'm happy. And I'm like, what makes you happy? And he says, you. That's amazing. Isn't that the best feeling in the world? And I was finally able to see my why. Because a lot of us create our whys, and we say, you know what? This is the reason I'm going to do it. This is the reason we're going to do it. But I said that, but I actually don't really believe and now feel it until now. Because now it's finally coming true. And that's the amazing feeling. So, what can I share with you? Is I'm going to give you 3 major steps that you can take away and do when you go home that you're going to do differently in your business than the day you walked in here on Thursday or whatever day you came. I'm going to share that with you. But one thing that I want you to really think about is looking at your day. So deciding right now, of course you all have your own whys. Everyone's got a different why. So you've got to decide right now what is going to be that big change in your life. But we need to look at your schedule. So your schedule, your focus on what do you normally do every day. Because if you go right back home, and you just get right back in the routine of all the stuff that you've normally been doing and start implementing some of this amazing training that you've learned here, your business may not grow. What really has to change is how you look at your day and schedule it to be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable at points on doing some things that you are just too tired to do. You don't feel comfortable doing. You're not confident. But if you can set that challenge, then you'll be able to make bigger motions in your business. So looking at your day, the biggest step, so the number one step I would suggest you go home and do, so this is your first thing you should be writing down, is to look at your schedule and treat it just like one of our programs, 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is. You choose. What are you going to do, a 30-day? What are you going to do, a 60-day? What are you going to do, a 90-day? You decide. But your why has to be that big that you're going to look at your decision of change in your schedule and crush that amount of time. So if you're choosing 30 days, choose 30 days and say, I don't care what I'm going to do, but for 30 days I'm going to push hard. What's going to happen? And what does push mean to you? Doing the most effective steps in your business. Like, of course, sharing this business, following up on this business, being uncomfortable, stepping out of your zone, socializing more, go talk to more people. Just go say hi. Just do more, and you decide, what's it going to be? Are you doing a Coach 30-day program? Are you doing a Coach 60-day program or 90-day program? What are you going to do? But if you decide to do that, you're going to see marked change in your business, for sure, guaranteed. That's your